Hi there, Damien here at Slotcar. I have just had the track apart to do some electrical work and I've got it all back together. In that time the track has been stored away underneath the table. It's all been apart and stored there, so it's got dusty, and putting it back together I find there's no grip. This is something you may have come across yourself. Don't use the track for a while, the grip goes. Now while it was dusty, that's one factor, and I have been over with a damp rag and I've given the whole surface a wipe down. But in doing so, I may also have cleaned off some of the residue of the rubber and maybe the oil treatment and anything else that gets on the track through constant running. And the track is noticeably different. So much so that when I put it back together, it felt to me like there was almost less power. The cars just didn't seem to respond and accelerate. So I got the multimeter to actually test and make sure the full voltage was getting to the rails, which of course it was. So I know there's no fault with the power. It must be in the track surface. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these three cars and I'm going to test over the period of a few days and see on the same lane, this inside lane, with the same controller at the same settings, I'm going to see how the cars perform as we do lots and lots of laps in between times and bring that grip back to the track. The three cars I'll be using are all a little bit different to each other. This one here is a standard Slotcar car out of the box with magnets fitted, so just as you'd get it off the shelf. This one here is also a Slotcar car, and while it is basically standard, it has had the magnet removed and it has urethane tyres. So these tyres I won't treat at all, I'll just leave them as they are. This car here, this is a Pioneer Camaro that has been modified, has no magnet, and it has NSR Ultra Grip tyres, and I will be treating these tyres with this NSR rubber tyre treatment. So what we'll do, we'll start now, I'll do some laps, I'll keep a record of the times over a few days, and we'll just see what improvements we can make. Pretty slippery. Okay, Slotcar magnet out, urethane tyres. This car normally has quite a lot of grip and is really quite stuck down, and it's really fishtailing and sliding all around the place. That was a 9-second lap, which is pretty slow for this car. .96. If you've seen my previous videos with this car, you'd have seen how fast I had it going. And this is miles away. 9 seconds again. I feel like I've really got to take it quite gingerly. 9.01. 894. This so far. Crash. Okay. Let's see what happens here. The tyres have been treated, so it is nice and soft. They are nice and soft, and considerably better than the other two. 787. 775. At least I feel with this I can control it, even though it's not as fast as what it would normally be. 758. 763. Crash. 763 best so far. I've just had a really good idea. I'm going to extend the experiment and I'm going to use the other lane for another 3 cars. The difference is, in the few days that I'm doing this experiment, I'm not going to be using any of the tyre treatment products that we use on this on this outside lane. Okay, lane 1 is going to be free of any treatments. So we're going to see how the grip comes back between the two lanes, and we'll try and do about the same amount of running on each lane. The 3 cars I'll be using for this lane is a Pioneer Camaro straight out of the box with the magnet still fitted with its standard rubber tyres. I've got a Carrera DTM car that has also its standard rubber tyres but has no magnet fitted. And I've got a Scalextric Bentley that is on urethane tyres and has no magnet fitted. So the equivalents are, this is like our red XB Falcon that we've been using on lane 2. This one is like the, I guess similar to the Pioneer Camaro that we've been, the blue and silver one that we've been using on this lane. And this is like the Scalextric yellow Camaro. So we'll start those off now. I'll use this controller on the settings that it's set at on this lane, see what happens. Alright, let's continue with this test. So the 3 cars yesterday we had running on each lane, so 6 cars obviously. The rest of the day I ran all sorts of different cars on the track. On the inside lane here I only ran cars, I ran anything actually, and cars with treated tyres, tyres I just treated. On this lane I ran cars only with dry tyres, no treatment, so there's no extra residue on this lane from anything. So we'll do some times now, and we'll see how everything goes. I'll do this one first. Let's pick on this guy. Initially I must say it doesn't feel slippery at all. It feels like the track's a whole lot better just after one day. Apart from then. Okay, inside lane's done. Improvement in each lane, we'll go through all the numbers in a minute. Let's do the outside lane next. Okay, Bentley here we've still got to go. Previous best time of 8.45. Let's see what happens. Feels like it's got grip. Certainly feels better. .44, a hundredth of a second in the first clear time, about the same. Get off. Okay, so I've got the results after one day of using the track, and I haven't used it a lot. I might have done 100 laps on each lane, and if you'll remember, This inside lane has had tyres on it that have been treated, some of them, not all, and this outside lane we've only had tyres that have been untreated, completely dry on this lane. And it's interesting because of the 6 cars, the 3 cars on this lane have all had bigger time improvements than the 3 cars on the outside lane. Okay, so for the standard cars with magnets, we've had a 13.5% reduction in lap time on the inside lane, as opposed to 1.1% reduction in lap time on this lane. With the XP Falcon and the Bentley, the cars with urethane tyres, we've had a 6.5% increase in speed and a 3% increase in speed here, so double the difference. And with the other 2 cars, the magless cars on rubber tyres, this one here we've had a 6% and this one here 4.4%. So all the cars have increased their speed and improved their lap times, but a more noticeable difference on the lane where we've been running some tyres that are treated. So what I'm suggesting here is that treating the tyres is also helping to improve the track. It's probably settling down the dust a little bit more on this side of the track, and with just those little bit of the treatment that'll come off onto the track, and it's certainly helping get the track back to a good high grip, better performing level by using those cars on it. Okay, here we are, Monday morning. I did come in yesterday on Sunday and do a few laps, so I've got the times of those down there recorded. Let's do some more now. See what the changes have been. I have done a few laps already this morning with other cars, so just to try and make sure that the dust and so forth is off the track. No good, bit of a crash. .68. .5. 6.52. 6.02. 6.02 we managed on that last lap. I'll do a few more, but that's quick. Okay, Falcon. 7.62. 7.56. 7.56 again. 736. 736. Slight improvement on yesterday, but I think we can do better. Hey there, the test is done. It's been 4 days. 4 days that I've been testing the track now, and between the tests I have been running other cars on the track. All the cars that have been running on the outside lane have had completely bone dry tyres, no tyre treatments at all. The cars that have been on the inside lane have been a bit of a mix. Some cars have had tyre treatments and some have been dry, but the main point is we didn't let anything with rubber tyre treatments go on the outside lane. So we can see the difference in how the track's evolved. So after 4 days the track has evolved quite a bit. Driving now isn't, in numbers terms, it may not sound a lot faster, 12.5% faster on the treated lane and 7.3% faster overall on the outside lane. Doesn't sound like a huge amount, but the track is infinitely easier to drive. It's much easier to drive a car. They're much more predictable in the corners, and you can drive feeling like you can push and feeling like you can really lean into it, which of course makes it a whole lot more exciting and satisfying. We did the same on both lanes basically, except we allowed cars with treatments, and particularly this car here with Pioneer Camaro was running with treated tyres throughout the testing. The differences of improvement for the cars throughout the whole test is that this car here improved 19% as opposed to this one here at 7.3%. This car 10.1% as opposed to 4.5%. This car here 8.4 compared to 10.2. So across the board we had a much bigger improvement in the lane where there were treatments. For whatever reason this car improved quite dramatically. I think a lot of it was the fact that I might have just kind of hooked up a couple of good laps with this at the end. But interesting to note that we had across the board 50% more improvement on that lane where we treated the tyres. I guess that the rubber tyre treatments probably helped to settle down the dust that's on the surface. They probably stay there for a little bit and help sort of build up grip. It'll be interesting to see over time if I need to clean that off at all. But to touch, you can't feel that it's different, although the cars certainly know and they certainly react differently. So it's been a bit of fun making the video and doing the testing. I'm looking forward now to be able to drive whatever I like on any lane and just getting into the track now we've got it set back up. Hope you've learned something. If you haven't, hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.